Hi! On the Woodpecker today, Renée and I spent the first week of the year at the cottage. If you live near Montreal, this was the beautiful scene on New Year's Day. It's why I put the snowmobile inside the pickups box, and by January 2nd, Renée and I were on our way to where we could find a bit of winter. The farther north we drove, the more snow there was. This is what the road looks like when we drive on the dirt road. Under the snow, there's ice. Smooth, slippery ice. It's why I have to concentrate on the road ahead. But that's not hard, because it's so beautiful. But I still have to be super careful, because not a lot of people on the road means no one to help us if I drive into the ditch. But eventually, we arrive at the outfitter's place, and it's possible to put the snowmobile on the ground. Okay, this is a new and improved technique to go faster. When everything is inside the sleigh, we can head up to the cottage. I stop here and there just to admire the scenery. The look is so different in the summertime. Getting to the cottage takes forever because the sleigh tipped over at least 20 times in the 40-kilometer ride. The tie-down is now all twisted. It's really unpleasant. We were super happy to arrive in our driveway after 2 hours of sledding. I was so happy to get rid of this useless dead weight that I've carried inside my coat from the start. When we arrived, it was nice inside the cottage. It's true that I was here 4 days ago with our son and we heated up the place. The temperature rises quite quickly because I use my propane heater. As soon as everything is inside, I take care of pumping some water. It's in these moments that I'm glad that we dug this well because we have water all year round. All I need to do is to pour it inside the barrel we keep in the cottage during the cold season. Now, as simple as this, we have water at the end of a garden hose. The next morning, I have to take care of the kitchen drawers. As you can see, they need a little bit of love, especially the top ones, because they don't even stay in place. Those are the original sliders. I'm replacing the first one with more modern ones, but I have to add a spacer for those ones. Lucky for me, I'm ready for that. It's now time to get the miter saw and cut one of the strips we brought with us. But when I try to screw it in place, I'm unable to. I have to drill some holes for the screws. With the screws that can stay in place, it's much simpler to screw this piece of wood. Now I can screw the slider. If this seems easy, it's because I've already drilled some pilot holes. But even with new sliders, the drawer doesn't close properly. After a bit of investigation, I figured out that the wall where the left sliders were screwed to moved when we worked on the countertop last summer. I screw it back in place and now all the drawers work like they should. One thing scratched off of our list of things to do here. But I need to do something if I want to use my sleigh to return to the pickup. The first thing I do is to try to straighten up the bracket on the snowmobile. Even with such a primitive method, I mostly was able to put the bracket straight again. Now I'm going to try to make a swiveling interface between the snowmobile and the sleigh. For that, I'm going to use some cut-off pieces of bed angle iron that we used when we fixed the dock a couple of years ago. After cutting the rivets, I lose the pieces that are useless. This is what I will use to try to fix the sleigh. I will do the rest of the work inside. It's way warmer there. As a matter of fact, I only have some holes to drill. It's in moments like these that I'm happy that I'm keeping a lot of tools up there. To hold the two pieces together, I use a bolt and 3 nuts. Here is our new interface between the snowmobile and the sleigh. Now I need to test it. And what a great idea to test it when I'm sure there won't be any mosquitoes to bother me. This will be the ideal test. I tie down the emptied propane tank to the sleigh and off I go toward the pickup. I'm pretty happy at the beginning. Everything slides perfectly. But 4 kilometers later, as you can see, I turned the snowmobile around because I can't stand it anymore. The sleigh tipped over 4 times already, and I even lost 2 of the 3 rubber bands that were holding the tank in place. This is too much. I head back to the cottage, but I still need to bring the empty tank back home. So I remove the emergency gas tank from my snowmobile and tie down the tank at the back. 1 hour later, without any problem, I'm beside the pickup. After putting it inside the box, I can come back to the cottage. The surface trails are a joy. The trail groomer just went through, and I'm the first one sledding on it. But this is only 1/3 of the ride. The rest is not surfaced. This means that I have to slow down the pace. Slower also means that I have more time to enjoy the scenery. This is the last section, just before parking the snowmobile. I also took some walks. Walking where a snowmobile has passed means the snow is packed as if I was walking on sand. Except it's a bit colder. I also took some time to edit this episode on the Raspberry Pi I keep at the cottage. Yes, I missed my usual computer. But unfortunately, after more than a week, we have to leave this scenic spot. So I do a test and tie down 2 bins full of stuff to bring back home and go to the pickup. Since this was a success, I repeat this the next day with all the remaining stuff we have to bring back. But before leaving, we have to close the shutters and off we go. Even if we're sad about leaving, I know I will come back with someone who has never sat on a snowmobile before. You will see that in another episode. When we're at the pickup, I get rid of the useless weight and put the snowmobile inside the box. And it's time to head back home. Being on those roads is like my episodes. You'll never know what will happen or what you might see on the Woodpecker.